Today's casting is this strange looking little thing. It's part of a plenum chamber set up for the V12 Jaguar throttle bodies that I cast a few days ago. It's a little bit tricky in that the pattern maker hasn't really given me all the taper I need. This face here is almost vertical, and there are some problems in this area here and over here, as you'll see when I mould it. He's made a little Oddside to hold it so that I can mould it a bit easier. Unfortunately though, the way it's organised, I have to mould the cope first, and that does involve a bit of a problem. This box feels like it might do the job. These boxes do have very tight pins, which makes for a very good lift usually, but you can also have problems with the pins locking. That one will be alright. A little bit of part on the pattern first, and it's probably easier to sweep up the excess off that way. Now we're in business. Some facing sand. I do want a good finish on these, although I suspect most of it gets machined anyway. Backup sand. At least this job uses this in these nice little small boxes, and they ram up very quickly. Quick firm up around the feeder base and the sprue base. Twist and pull the sprue out, never wobble it, but you can wobble the feeder out. A little bit of part down each, I always do this, and you'll see one of the advantages of it shortly. Always works from the centre of the bigger holes. If you don't, you'll break the edges of them away, at least with my sand. Other people's sand might be quite different. I actually broke the edges a little bit then, but it's not too bad. Right, okay. Now, I made a couple of these a day or three back, and I did observe that there was a bit of a problem with venting in this area here. There's a bit of a steam build-up occurs here over the casting next to the feeder, and it did in fact damage the casting. So we'll put some vents in here to give the steam somewhere to go. That's a problem that you have with very fine sands like this one of mine. Now, lift this off without removing the pattern. Just rub it all around there to make certain the parting lines are clean. More part, sweep it off the pattern itself. Going to work? Yes, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's okay. More parting now. This is the problem with moulding the cope first, that when I ram up the drag, I'm going to fill the feeder and the sprue in, which is a bit of a problem. But in this case, because of the way the Oddside was made, I don't have much choice, because I want the thin bits of the casting, those ears, if you like, in the drag. That way they've got maximum pressure and they'll fill very quickly with the hottest metal, because they're very thin and we do want them sharp. Those ears also represent another problem, that they're pretty high up in this box, so I'll firm it up like this with my fingers a bit first. I don't want to hit them with the ramming tool, they'll break quite easily. And that'd make the pattern maker annoyed. Go between the ears there. Just carefully sneak up to the rest a little bit. That'll be right. Okay, now for reasons which I won't go into at the moment, I've got half my boxes pinned here and the other half pinned here. I far prefer them pinned here, on the long way of the box if you like, because that seems to give you a better lift. Across this shorter way, it's a little bit more difficult to lift. But I always find that I have to have the pins under my hands in order to get a good lift, and in particular I have to have the pin in the round hole on the right hand, because that's my dominant hand and therefore the stronger. Now we'll see if we can get a reasonable sort of a lift here. Yep. Well, not brilliant, but I guess it'll have to do. This pattern, as I said, does not have a lot of taper, and some areas are quite nasty. Consistently, I lose a piece standing there, and occasionally a little bit on the edge, because he just did not put enough taper on the pattern. And nearly every mould I've made of this, I get a breakaway. Clean those up, and I'll just radius this edge a little bit here, because the metal actually flows over that. Will do for the moment. Now here's one of the advantages of putting part down the riser and the sprue. It just falls out, see? And there it is, nice and clean. Now let's see if we can get this half out. Be a bit delicate here because this is it's a fairly thin pattern in spots. It looks like it's loose. To give me a bit of a guide, I'll just put this lump of steel sitting down there against the pattern, and all I've got to do now is just lift the pattern, sliding it up the piece of steel, just like that. Again, I'm going to have trouble there. That'll break away in a minute because the taper in this area inside here is not dead right. Yes, I can see it's going to break away. Cut the runner. Cut the gate. This gate will be almost full thickness of the casting. Almost, not quite. Now that area is going to blow away there in the middle. There she goes. Every one I've made's like that. Oh, blow the sprue clear. There we go. Just break the sharp edge there of those. Might just flick that off, it's going to come anyway. Now, go for a trial close. Which way is it? That way, I think it is, yes. Now to blow all the loose stuff out. Torch and have a look and see whether I got it all. These silly torches, they do not want to work half the time. Now it works. Ha! Just got to throw it on the bench right. There's a little bit more in there I can try and get rid of, I think, right down in the corner. It's not too bad. Now, in order to get enough feed into this casting, I need to extend the feeder and the sprue. That'll give me enough height. And that is another one done. Okay. Over in front of the furnace. Alright, the metal is hot enough, we're ready to go. I'll do these small castings with a ladle like this out of the crucible because it's just easy and convenient. Right. Here are the results of casting these little plenum chambers. They're not too bad, considering that the problems with the taper on the pattern in here and in here, which has given me consistently these little defects all the time. I suppose it's not too bad a job. It came out quite well, I thought, so they're a bit of a success, and I can degate those, clean them up, and take them off to the customer.